Well, the case is not a case of ordinary membership of a political party. It is a case that is anchored on a judgment of the Federal High Court. Now, in that case, the party stated in their counter affidavit that the third respondent was not a member of their party, the APC. And they now, in their reply at the tribunal, they stated that they are anchoring their position on the judgment of the Federal High Court, which declared that since you say you are no longer a member of PDP, vacate your seat. So if you fail to vacate the seat and you held on to the position and you say now you benefit from the fact that the court said you are no longer a member of PDP and you fail to vacate, you cannot be seen to be approbating and reprobating. That's what our position is here.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, very briefly, the Apex Court had us today on our argument. We representing the second respondent, Senator Prince Basi Otu, the governor of Cross River State, to the fact that the case being pursued by the appellants here is dead on arrival because it is different from the case they had made out before the tribunal. Their case before the tribunal was that the governor was not qualified up to school certificate level. But they themselves provided from EC9, which was Exhibit D 55B, which showed that the governor himself was educated up to the university, bagging a Bachelor of Science degree in sociology. And they later, in their reply to the governor's reply to the petition, tried to introduce another thing, forgery and discrepancies in the name of secondary schools, which of course they could not authenticate. So they were making a case that they never made. And the two lower courts, the Election Tribunal and the Court of Appeal, unanimously dismissed the petition. It is those concurrent findings by two lower courts that they want the Supreme Court to overturn. And the Supreme Court has said again and again, they would never interfere in concurrent findings of her, except you can show that there was perversion in the findings, which they could not show. The only other important thing was that these matters they are talking about are pre-election matters, statute barred, and membership of a political party, domestic affair of that party, as held by the Supreme Court again and again. So they were pursuing trifles. That was why we urged the Supreme Court to dismiss the appeal with aggravated and exemplary costs.
Okay, say that.
That is correct. The court has affirmed. I think the beauty of today's matter is there were three. There were different appeals, three of them all together today. The three of them had a common theme in regard to disqualification. And what the Supreme Court has done has been to confirm that Pastor Moino is not only the governor of Akwa Ibom State, but that he has genuine certificates. I think that's the more important thing, because that matter had already been decided in another Supreme Court case. So what the court has done today is to affirm that indeed he has genuine certificates and that he has absolutely no encumbrance, and that's the end of the matter.
It's only senatorial House of Reps and Assembly that is left for subsidiary legislation, like an electoral act. So INEC developed this section, paragraph 100, to address issues where election being inconclusive, they cannot determine whether a winner has emerged. But it's sometimes often applied indiscriminately both to governorship, presidential, and legislative houses. But a jurisprudence is developing now that since the Constitution has been clear about what you require to score to become a governor, a subsidiary instrument like electoral act or regulation should not override the Constitution. So I think that is where Section 24, with this issue of inconclusive election and INEC decision about whether to return or not, would then be identified, analyzed against Section 179(2) of the Constitution. So let's wait and see how the Supreme Court addresses the issue.
It was very clear, listening to the lawyers from both sides, that our case was clear and open. The people of Ogun State voted for His Excellency Prince Akwa as the governor of Ogun State. The tribunal affirmed it, the Court of Appeal affirmed it, and it was very evident from what we heard that the Supreme Court will affirm that judgment. The arguments for the appellant was very weak, and in fact, at the end, it was slightly hilarious, where the case that he used as an example, the case of Faleke and the case of Faleke and INEC that he used to reference and support his case, was clearly shown by our counsel, Chief Olanipe that they lost that argument in Faleke's case, so they will lose that argument again. Why would you use a losing argument to defend a case? It just shows how weak their case is. So I want to thank our counsel, right from the Electoral Tribunal till today, for a job well done, what they have done to make sure that...
So having watched the assessment today, how would you assess this proceedings today? Yes, how would you assess the proceedings they haven't watched so far?
I've told you what has happened today. I just want to thank our counsel for all they have done for us, and also to say that our confidence in the judiciary in this country is very high. They have done what is right, they have upheld the rule of law, and they are not being used by spurious appellants to change the will of the people. The will of the people has been upheld to date, and we are sure that the Supreme Court will also uphold the will of the people. Thank you very much.
A case of ordinary membership of a political party. It is a case that is anchored on a judgment of the Federal High Court. Now, in that case, the party stated in their counter affidavit that the third respondent was not a member of their party, the APC. And they now, in their reply at the tribunal, they stated that they are anchoring their position on the judgment of the Federal High Court, which declared that since you say you are no longer a member of PDP, vacate your seat. So if you fail to vacate the seat and you held on to the position, and you say now you benefit from the fact that the court said you are no longer a member of PDP and you fail to vacate, you cannot be seen to be approbating and reprobating. That's what our position is here.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. Your counsel for the appellants, Sandy Ono and PDP.
Thank you.
No, well, the court, in its wisdom, has found it necessary, in view of their earlier position in another matter, that this matter has to be withdrawn. And as a minister in the Temple of Justice, we also have that conviction that once the court, has decided that, okay, this is the line of action you have to take, we are duty bound to comply with that order of the court. Their lawsuit, they tried, they've made a final decision. Well, we can always have another day before their lawsuits. So that is my comment for now. We thank their lawsuit and we thank everybody who have really, shown sign of solidarity.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Something follow